You are watching Keeping It Real, Pueblo's premier community access late-night television program, produced at the Center for New Media at Pueblo Community College here in Pueblo, Colorado, where videos you make get played, showcasing your talents and creativity. Keeping It Real is Pueblo's platform to broadcast to the world. Welcome your hosts of Keeping It Real, Mr. John Martinez and Jeff.
Hola, welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm Jessica, and this is Ryan Cameron, our super duper producer. He's got a little message for our viewers. Take it away, Cam.
Thanks, Jess. As you may have noticed, John's not here. He's on to bigger and better things. But I'd like to take some time to thank him for all his help and for adding his own flavor to the first 10 episodes of the show.
Yeah, thanks for showing me the ropes, John. But now we need to find a new host. So this is your chance to step up and audition for the opportunity to be my co-host. Requirements are tall, dark, handsome, and male.
No, wait. I was thinking more like voluptuous, dark, and sexy female.
No.
Let's just see who shows up.
Okay.
Stay tuned for the end of the show for details on how to audition.
Anyway, here we are downtown. We came to exchange our robots, but found out the robot exchange is actually a clothing store owned by our friends David Browder and Samantha Printy.
That's right. They sell rockabilly and vintage clothing, and they actually do have a robot.
You can come in and find all kinds of interesting clothing. They're open until 7.
That's right. So come in and see what they have to offer. See, I can host. You guys make this seem hard.
Screw you, Cameron. First of all, you can't say sh. Second, it's not that easy all the time. Now, on to our first segment of the show. This is a short film made by the acting class at PCC. It's called The Perfect Design, and it's this month's
Idiots on Lead.
Enjoy, heads. My show, I'll do what I want.
Secrets. We all have them. Whether it ranges from a young girl's crush on a boy, to a terrorist plot to suicide bomb a town square with a large population. Secrets. We all have them. Just like the professor.
This guy is squeaky clean. His background check is solid. He seems alright on paper.
Let's bring him in for questioning anyways.
Yeah?
Hey, Jonathan. This is Detective Turner and Detective Hobbs. You think you could bring this wise guy in? We have a few questions for him.
You mean that dude that talks about buildings all day?
That's the one.
I guess. But you owe me one.
Just bring him in.
Yes, ma'am.
Professor Weiss is a sophisticated, charming fellow, passionate about his love of architecture. Like the way an artist feels when his brush strokes a canvas, the professor's blueprints become his masterpieces. He wishes that just one of his pupils will see his devotion in the beauty of architecture and will one day adopt his worship of engineering flawless constructs.
Here's the dude you want, detectives. I'm gonna take my coffee break, so don't call me if you need anything, okay?
How that man ever got his job, I will never know.
Beats me. Professor Weiss, I presume.
That's correct. I know the two of you have been investigating the recent happenings on our campus, and I'd just like to let you know that Ryan was a dear student of mine, and I'm willing to help in any manner possible.
Thank you, Professor. We'd just like to ask you a few questions. First of all, I've spoken with several of your students, and they've said that you did not show up to class yesterday morning. Might I ask where you were?
Well, if you must know, I'd been sick since my last class on Friday, as well as the rest of the weekend, and I was simply resting at home yesterday morning.
I see. Is there anyone who can confirm this?
Maybe a wife or a child or...
No, I'm not married, nor do I have a child.
I understand that Ryan was a student of yours. Did you have any other form of communication outside of class?
Well, obviously my students come to me from time to time with questions, and I'm sure Ryan was among them, but other than that, no, there was no other contact.
Let's see. Well, thank you, Professor. If we have any more questions, we'll contact you farther.
Thank you, Detective. detectives, for all your excellent work. I'm sure you'll catch this elusive criminal. And if there's anything else I can do to help, please don't hesitate to contact me.
Certainly. Have a good day.
Something isn't right here.
Yeah, the professor seems a little too nice. We've been here before. What are we looking for now?
Nothing.
Wait a minute. What's this? Heroin, marijuana, cocaine, meth? My word, this guy's a freaking drug dealer.
Now I see why somebody would want him dead. But who?
Wow. What an idiot. He kept a list of his clients on paper?
That's either sheer genius or absolute stupidity.
Francis Black. I know I've seen that name before. Oh, he was one of the last guys Ryan texted on his phone.
But who's Mr. Black?
Oh, I'm sorry, am I interrupting something?
No, that's okay, Miss Noble. Was there something you needed in here?
Oh, yeah. Jonathan let me in here. I was just wondering if I could get this picture of Ryan and I back. I gave this to him for our 6-month anniversary. It means so much to me, and it meant a lot to him.
I'm very sorry for your loss, Miss Noble. I know you two only dated for a short time, but from what I've seen, you must have truly been close.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I'm not sure if you knew this, Miss Noble, but we've recently found evidence that Ryan was involved in a form of drug dealing.
What? No. No. We never kept secrets from each other.
Well, he was just murdered, so there must have been something you didn't know about.
No, that's impossible.
Well, Miss Noble, it's not like drug dealers make a habit of advertising their trade, especially if he really cared about you. Then he wouldn't have wanted you to get involved with his life of crime and somehow get hurt because of it.
I mean, if you had known, you could have ended up on this floor with him.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm sorry. I'm just so confused. It's been a rough past couple days.
I understand.
Well, now that you know what Ryan was involved in, do you think you have any type of evidence that could help us with this crime?
No, not at the time. But now, looking back on it, he was always kind of secretive about me looking through his phone. I just thought he liked privacy, and I respected that.
I see. All right, well, thank you, Miss Noble.
Thank you.
It's getting late. You go on home. We'll keep in touch.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for letting me keep this. It means so much to me.
Not. Wow, that was a good short film. The acting class should be proud. Now, as you can see, we had a minor costume change thanks to the robot exchange. We found some pretty cool outfits.
Yeah, I could rock this for sure.
Heck yeah, Cameron. And you know, maybe you are host material.
All right, audition's over, I win.
I say we still hold them, just to see who shows up. You never know. It could be a really funny experience.
Yeah, I don't want to be host.
Okay, well, now, as you may recall in our last episode, we are doing a 3-segment open mic summit. This showcases local musicians talking about their struggles in the music business.
This episode's Open Mic Summit is the second of the 3 and has a music video from Che Bong at the end. Enjoy!
Hello, and we're back with our three artists here. You are watching Open Mic Summit. My name is Donnie Rubal, and we're here with our three local artists from Colorado Springs and Pueblo here talking about music. We just had a great conversation. We just saw some video footage, and we're really looking forward to seeing some more of that here coming along. So let's get right away to our next question, which is, you know, really how has the home studio evolved? There's different ways to record. You could go to a professional, or you could just choose to get some of the software that is relatively inexpensive and relatively affordable is what I'd want to say compared to maybe 10 years ago. Let's talk a little bit about the home studio and how you've used it and how you utilized that as well.
Well, the home studio actually for my collective is the way that we get down. We record everything at the house, you know. If it's something like a major project that we're working on, sometimes we'll send it out to get mixed and mastered by a professional at his home studio, you know, because we might not have the aptitude to do all of that.
Sure.
But all of our recording is from the house. It's the best way to go. Back when I was a kid, all I dreamed of was going to this, you know, big boy studio, you know, or the Electric Lady studio, you know, or whatever, these monumental studios. But now the monumental studio is the crib, you know. That's just how I think that technology has helped us get there, you know. And
with some of your music, you use a lot more live instrumentation. How have you got to really utilize the home studio?
Well, you know, when I started, it was the old 4-reel and 5-reel, you know, mix it up, you know, and that was very difficult to use. And now, you know, with technology, I use Pro Tools and a laptop. I can go anywhere and plug a whole drum kit in. I can plug guitars in, whatever. I can record it live. And it's really made it easy for the little guy to do his own thing. You don't have to have the big guy to get it done anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you want the notoriety of a big-time producer and you don't mind paying for it, that's good. But you know, there's nothing wrong with recording it yourself. You know, everybody's got an ear, and if you're a musician, I hope you've got a decent ear.
Yeah, sure. Lash, how have you really taken advantage of the home studio?
When I first got started, I had a little thing that I got at a garage sale. It had 2 tape decks on it. And it only had a left mic port, you know what I mean? A left and a right, so I had to get 2 mics. I had 2 mics plugged in and I would rap like that, you know what I mean? Just to make my tapes. So from coming from that to like he said, Pro Tools, what else? There's Fruity Loops, Sonar, you know what
Reason,
I mean? There's so many, just so many options now to where you can just, if you have the drive, man, that home studio is key.
Yeah, and you could sit there and really fine-tune your music.
Yeah, and you're a lot more comfortable. I did actually I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did actually go to a legit studio up in Denver. It's called Blue Velvet Studios, you know, behind the glass and all these people looking at you, and it was just kind of more nerve-wracking. I didn't feel like I could be myself as to where, like, when I go and record with no gimmick or just any other home studio that we've been provided with. It's just a lot of weight off the shoulders. You can be a lot more creative, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I think that's where you really start to really appreciate a good engineer, somebody who's could mix, you know, mix the music well, because, you know, you could track it at home, but, you know, I still feel personally that it's always good to get somebody in there who's mixing your album and that wasn't their first project.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't need experimentation, we need execution of the idea and get it out on disc to the people.
Speaking of engineers, I got to shout out my man Nato, engineering a lot of the bullheaded, found-dead, you know, sound-powered engine stuff, you know what I mean? He's an awesome dude. My man Gary as well, he's a pretty decent engineer, so.
Yeah, well, I know Nato, and he's a gifted artist there. Our next question is going to kind of follow along the same lines, and that's really about having too many roles. I really feel that that's where a lot of local musicians, that's where that's a weakness, because they want to do it. They want to be the engineer. They want to be the record. They want to press the button. They want to hold the mic. They want to write the song. They want to do, but let's talk a little bit about the different roles. I know recently you, maybe, when did you get your manager? And I know him. Can you speak about that maybe?
Oh yeah, well.
Roles?
Yeah, we've had our manager Gary Vanderpool. We've had our manager since day one. You know, it's kind of just something that we didn't really seek out. It's just how it ended up being. You know, it's very important as artists to kind of have that separation. All of us as artists are so hell bent on having our own vision being, you know, seen out, and so we want to have control of all of these things. But sometimes when we have all of this control, we kind of lessen up on the writing and the composing, or our determination to book shows, or, you know, for everybody. It just tires you out so much more. And, you know, if you have an individual that is willing to be there for you and set those things up, you need to, you know, go balls out with that, you know, because it's so you can focus more on being the artist.
Sure.
You know, so many. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a jack of all trades, but jack of all trades, master of none. You know.
That's right.
So.
Sure, it takes time. It takes time to play all those different roles. Can you you know, express some of your feelings on that?
With Cosmic Waste, I try to do a lot of it myself, and it just is a lot of stress and a lot of workload. And whenever I get anybody that's willing to share that workload with me, I appreciate it. It's really helpful. I mean, everything from making the flyers, booking shows, photographers, getting somebody in the crowd to get a video. I mean, there's so many things to be done. Arranging your practices even can be, you know, it can be very tough to get a lot of things arranged. We all have a day job. I mean, it's just so many things that need done, and the role playing is just so much. And it's great to get someone to help. If you can get a manager or a PR, you know, everything is helpful.
How have you taken advantage of you know, of help?
You know, when I started off, it was all me. It was just, you know, doing everything I can do, you know, to make me a better artist. And then I started meeting people throughout shows and different things. And now I don't know where I'd be without some of these people, you know what I mean? Like I work with Crazy D and Nameless from No Gimmick. And they really helped me out a lot as far as just production, as far as studio, you know what I mean? Like they just really do a lot for me. So that's basically really, you know, just all I gotta say really about that one, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, well, I appreciate you know, all of those, all of that insight there. Let's talk about, you know, the challenges and the pros and cons of being signed and unsigned, what, you know, why you are where you are, and maybe why you've decided to maybe go the course you have. But from your experience, and I'm gonna start with you, Bob, on this question. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, we're unsigned currently, and everybody'd like to be signed. Every musician, and they're getting started, loves to think of being signed by that big record label and getting that big money up front, you know. They don't think about the fact that at some point they want that back. It's a front. You know, you got to sell to get the money. But, you know, it's very tough to get a label. You know, you're maybe better off not going independent and trying to do the grassroots things, keep your friends, family, and fans involved. And having a label is a big thing. I've talked with a couple labels. There was one in Oklahoma we talked with. And it was good, but so many of them want you to buy into it. You know, they want you to use a lot of your own money, and if you're going to do that, you might as well just, you know, get your Pro Tools and your laptop and engineer it yourself. You know, and like he said, send it out to someone to have it mastered and mixed for you, and you'll have a great product either way. You don't need a label in today's world. They'd like you to think so, but it isn't a necessity.
Yeah, this whole digital era has really changed everything. Can you talk about a little bit of the signed versus unsigned?
I think there's pros and cons between both, you know what I mean? As far as Lyrical Mischief, we started our own little label called Hits Academy that we're working on right now, building from the ground up. And it's taken time, you know, and it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot out of you. But I feel like independent right now is where you want to be, as far as you don't have to answer to anybody. You're in charge, you know what I mean? You can go out and get whatever you want to go out and get.
Yeah, sure. You can make quick decisions, and you can execute that with your street team, or, you know, you can make moves quicker. Can you follow up on any of that?
I would just like to say rock on to both of these guys right here. Exactly what the signed versus unsigned. I mean, I feel like I'm an unsigned, signed artist, you know what I mean? I'm a part of a group called Sound Powered Engine. It's my label that I'm a part of. It's a grassroots thing that we've all built from the ground up. We're spinning, you know, buying into it, but we're buying into our own stock, you know? We've been working on this label for about 5 years from the ground up. And so I think that more so than trying to seek out a record label or something like that, maybe create your own empire, you know what I mean? As opposed to trying to become someone else, you know, part of someone else's empire, you know? Build your own.
Great, great. Next, I want to really look into, and I don't want to get negative. I don't want to turn this into, you know, a negative forum here. But what I really want to do is talk about some of the frustrations of coming out in the rap game or in the music industry here from Colorado, and Pueblo specifically, or Colorado Springs. Or, you know, we're looked at as how, you know, we know how we're looked at. Let's go ahead and talk about that, if you wouldn't mind to start that, Chief.
Oh, well, I don't know how we're looked. I'm not too sure about that, Donnie. How about you start on that? No, I'm just kidding. I do think that there is a stigma with Colorado Springs and Pueblo artists because, and I don't want to beat around the bush, but because of the big brother Denver and how rich of music culture that they do have. And I think that sometimes we feel like us being from Pueblo or Colorado Springs, we're lessened because of that maybe, but I don't feel that way. I think that we all work together. I think that the frustrations more so come along with just being a part of the music and not being able to get together with different personalities more so. We're our worst enemy. I mean, if you're gonna let yourself stop yourself, then I mean, who's really defeating you, I would hate to say that there would be some kind of stigma about Colorado artists that we're stuck here, because we're from Colorado. I think that we would be placing ourselves here because we're from Colorado. I think we can branch out and do other things. But I do feel the frustration. I do see the stigmas. But I think that that's something, our responsibility as musicians, to break through that and break away from that, you know what I mean?
Sure, and overcome.
And overcome it, as opposed to letting all these things beat us up.
Great. Bob, how do you feel about that?
Okay. In Colorado, there's a lot of frustrations as far as finding gigs and fans. Everybody has their own personalized genre now. So everybody tries to stick to it. There's not enough people supporting the different genres, and it's too far from venue to venue. It's hard to travel. I mean, you have Pueblo Springs, Denver, and to go farther than that, you're talking 150, 200 miles at least. It's very difficult to get around and move around a lot. There's not a lot of coastlines, like if you're on the West Coast or the East Coast, to hit a whole lot of venues. So you're going to play a lot of the same places over and over. Which is a good thing because you're canvassing, but you want to spread out and be able to get your music heard.
Sure.
All right.
There is a great amount of frustration here sometimes.
Now, Lash, how have you, taken that?
I think some of my frustrations are more just the fact that a lot of artists, any genre, aren't as open-minded as they should be to other people. Not as far, like, even if you don't listen to their music, you can do things to help you both grow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, there's no reason to be like, oh, I didn't like their set, or I didn't, you know what I mean? Sometimes you get that. I mean, that's criticism, that's gonna happen, you know what I mean? But I just feel like if we were all just a little bit more open-minded to each other and all took each other in a little bit more and just spoke more, communication, then I think that would smooth out a lot of the areas in Colorado, like he said, Denver, Colorado Springs. I've performed in those places a couple times, Littleton, things like that. And it's just the fact of you don't really always get welcomed with open arms, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And that's just one thing, just being more open-minded, I think would be something that would take some of the frustration away from my thoughts on it.
And to piggyback off of that, I'd like to see more artists from different places in Colorado working together, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Denver artists working with Pueblo artists, Colorado Springs artists working with Fort Collins artists. Yeah, I think that would really help break that frustration up and make us all feel more welcome.
Definitely.
Sure. This is the last question before break. Let's just talk about following up on that from the frustrations, but also like life on the road. You have maybe an up-and-coming musician who wants to, they want to hit the road, they want to go perform. Can you give us a little bit of insight on what they should be able to expect? And, briefly, and maybe go over some of the key points that you really remember and you would like to, let everybody know. Can I start with you, Bob? Are you okay?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Well, with that in mind, traveling is fun. You want to have fun. You want to get out and have fun. But with only being so many venues so far apart, you're going to do a quick hop, skip, and a jump up the state and back down, or maybe down to Albuquerque and back up. So traveling in Colorado it's part of the frustration in that, But outside of that, to get out of Colorado, you're going to have to temporarily move at least to a coastline and go up and down it a couple times, get to the bigger areas of the country, down in Texas and Arizona. So you're going to have to work for it if you want to branch out farther than Colorado and the immediate sister states. You're going to have be prepared and be ready to go on the road for more than a week or two.
And Che, you've recently went on tour. What was it, last year? You went on tour.
Yeah, with my homies Bullheaded, the whole family. We went out there, did a West Coast tour, and it wasn't easy by any means. We funded it all ourselves, and it was very hard, and it wasn't all cake and ice cream, that's for sure. But it was lots of fun, great learning experience. We're getting ready to hit the road again on the 18th, going up to Montana, rocking with the Chicharrones. We're going to rip some faces off up in Montana for sure.
Okay, great. We'll be looking forward to that. Lash.
I haven't done too much traveling outside of Colorado, you know what I mean? But as far as like some of the things they can expect if they're gonna be getting ready to hit the road is something that he mentioned. It's gonna be expensive, you know what I mean? It's not unless you can get funded somehow or raise some money before you go out on tour, you're gonna have to pay for food and lodging and all those expenses just like going on vacation, you know what I mean? But there's gonna be a lot more work involved and it's gonna be a lot more stressful, you know?
One of the things that we did was we were campaigning for the tour, and we were doing shows, and we're like, hey, donate for the tour, you know, help us get to where we need to go. We got a couple of sponsors, local sponsors as well, and that's what was a really big help for us, is working with our community.
Great, all right. So now we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and during this break, we're gonna show you the new video by Che Bong from his latest album, Sleeping While You're Awake. And I'm sure our audience is really gonna you know, have a good time watching this. So let's go and check this video out, brand new to you, and you are watching the Open Mic Summit.
It's crazy as it seems, crazy how I see it, crazy on the 2 and 3, make me think I can't believe it, but it's like a slap in the face with no love when you thinking that it is, but it wasn't this enough? Knows the obvious, but you're probably looking into it, thinking you can change it just a little bit. Stop, quit, pause, break, not this, all day I'm just doing what I'm told, yes man, okay. This life is a robot, kinda gotta stop, knife to the throat, but quit this and forget me not. But don't forget it, okay, the smooth shit sells swift when you start to reminisce, but then you running back to it like this. Okay, jump, but ask them how high. Never disappointed when they passing you by, okay? You live the lie, I write it. I live my life inspired. These yes man blues got you kinda quiet. Hey, do what they say, do what you're told. Say yes man, okay, alright, you'll never get respect. Maybe today you'll get a second class, yes man. Okay, alright, you'll lose every step. Do what they say, do what you're told. Say yes man, okay, alright, you'll never get respect. You think by saying yes you'll get respect, yes man. Okay, alright, you'll lose every step. Okay, maybe it's me, maybe it's you, maybe it's us. Maybe I'm just tired and don't give a fuck. Well, I'm still running back, throw it like a quarterback. NATO chop the beat up like a lumberjack. I run it back. Okay, alright, so how that shit sound? Okay, alright, so what we doing now? Down goes the ego people. It's so discreet, we need you. Your interjection, tell me what not to do. Do you think this yes man skit will get you through? Empty feeling on the inside, wishing you was cool, but nah, you got them yes man fools that's foolproof. Fools rushing in, trying to get it from the new you. You let them do it all again the same way, then it isn't you again when you say the same thing. Yes man, you do or die, suit and tie, next plan. For you and I, we gotta stick to the gun, so yes man. What they say, do what you're told, say yes man. Okay, alright, you'll never get respect. Maybe today you'll get a second glance, yes man. Okay, alright, you'll lose every step. Do what they say, do what you're told, say yes man. Okay, alright, you'll never get respect. You think by saying yes you'll get respect, yes man. Okay, alright, you'll lose every step.
Wow, Che Bong is a and he's always doing shows in the area with the rest of the Bullheaded crew, so check him out.
Definitely. And also, thank you, Cameron, for helping me host. That's the end of this episode. If you would like to audition to be the new host of Keeping It Real, contact Cameron on our Facebook or email him at keepingitreal4you@gmail.com.
Right. Auditions will be held August 6th, so send me your contact information by the 1st. And check us out next month for the final segment of the Open Mic Summit. Also, there's going to be a rap session with the No Gimmick crew at the end of that.
And also, a huge thanks to the Robot Exchange for letting us come play dress up.
Thanks for watching.